Hi, I'm Susan and welcome to Behind the Bench, a show all about making jewelry from the tools to the tricks of the trade. On this episode of Behind the Bench, wax carving. We've cut our rough, and now it's time to be with master jeweler, Tony, in the jewelry studio. So this was an exciting time. Tony brought the stones for me to see in the studio, and I was able to see the gorgeous amethyst color for the first time. They were so beautiful and really inspiring. Let's check with Tony to see what he's designed. Tony begins each design with a series of sketches and measurements. The carving sometimes changes along the way, but a good sketch gives him a roadmap to follow at the start. Tony and I are going over the designs he sketched out, and I'm being really picky about the one I like the best. We finally agreed on my choice, of course. Hey, I'm here with Tony in the shop, and we're getting ready to carve the wax for our amethyst bypass ring.
Right.
So you can see I'm super interested in what Tony's doing here. I'm picking up things off his bench while he's filing off the edges of this, but he is doing some pretty precise measuring to make sure that this ring is as perfect as possible. I'm trying really hard to pay attention. This was interesting here, where he kind of marked it with some baby powder. I thought that was really fun. And you can see how perfect he's making the edges, and he's just taking his time. This is my favorite part, so you get to try everything on. Once again, like I said, everything is just so precise. He uses all these really precise tools. It takes a lot of patience, and I was quite impressed with this man's patience. The attention to detail. I'm always saying it's all about the finishing touches, and he really pays attention to those final details. Also, this is incredibly impressive. If you know how hard it is to saw straight up and down, imagine sawing with this little saw, this little jeweler's saw, around on a curve on a piece of wax like that. He actually let me try it a little bit later, and we had to cut that part out of the show because it was so bad. And so here, look, he's checking, and even when I thought he was done, I'm like, oh, it's perfect, right? That's great. He still had more work to do. He still did more filing and still continued to work and get it just exactly right. In his mind, he knows exactly where he's going with this piece. He knows exactly how much to shave off and where to go, and I'm laughing because I can't even believe how incredible this is. So now he's marking the center, because and this is just incredible as well, because he's just essentially looking at that drawing and then placing these stones on here right where they need to be. And we discovered that he didn't have quite enough width for both stones, and so he made this just off the cuff adjustment here, where he decided that center piece he was going to use to bezel set both stones, so he had enough width on the band. Here he's actually carving the seat for the stones before he carves the rest of the band of the ring, which I thought was really interesting. But he has to make sure those stones fit down in there, and that he's going to be able to have enough metal to bezel over. Here we are practically in geometry class, where he made that little measurement around the outside. That's going to be the metal that's going to basically bezel around those stones. So everything that he's carving away isn't going to be part of the ring, and what he's leaving, of course, is going to be part of the ring. He's using tools, but primarily he's doing this just with his hands and eyes. Those are the most important tools that he has here. We're watching him here up close with the camera, and he's looking through that microscope, which makes everything look a lot closer, which I assume makes this easier because I couldn't see what he was doing just sitting next to him. It was really, really difficult. So I'm assuming what he's seeing in that microscope is much bigger. But look, you can see it coming together. Just little by little. I think this whole process took him a couple hours to do. It's just perfection, what he's got going on here. See, the stones just fit right in there, and he was very careful to make sure that there was enough metal there so he's going to be able to bezel set around those amethysts. And now he's adding a little bit of wax, which I thought was interesting. I didn't completely understand what he was doing there, but he added to add just a little bit of wax on there when he carved away. Now he has to actually cut the band down. And I found this, I mean, he's just eyeballing this. I swear he's just eyeballing it. But he's kind of giving it a curve to kind of blend into where those stones crisscross up there at the top, since it's that bypass ring. And there's really no way to measure this. So this is just all his artistry right here. You see where he's marked where he's going to cut right there. That's that powder that he uses to mark those white lines. He carves them out, and then he's got that saw back out there again, and I cannot believe that he has the guts to do this. So things are really, really shaping up. And now he's going to kind of just file with the hand saws to make everything just a little bit more refined. He's still saying things that I don't see here. He's talking to me as he goes and kind of pointing out little pieces where he's like, oh, I need this part to blend in here so that it has a better shape. And I can only imagine trying to do this for the first time. He's using a variety of different tools, some more aggressive than others, and that little flex shaft. He switches out the burrs that he uses, and now he's rounding that band out. And it's starting to, amazingly, it's starting to look like a ring. Every time I think he's almost finished, he does something else. He's actually drawing on the piece and carving just tiny, tiny, tiny little bits out. Still carving away, still making it more refined. At this point, I'm starting to get nervous because I'm starting to see how much finer that band is getting, and you can see how, I mean, that's just a piece of wax, and you could easily, drop it, step on it, ruin it, anything. But he just continues to work on it. I guess, with the precision of a craftsman who's done this over and over and over again. So there you go, there's that picture, and then look, I mean, 2 hours. It's absolutely incredible. Thanks for watching Behind the Bench. If you liked this video, don't forget to like it and don't forget to share it.